I had the opportunity to go to the garment district in Cambridge with a friend last week, and I found a bunch of items that I'm really excited to try. The thing about the garment district is when you are going through the pay by the pound pile of clothing there's not a good place to try stuff on. So I always recommend trying your items on when you can. And if you can't, well, there's different ways of using techniques like bringing measuring tape, knowing your measurements to help you out. But really, there's nothing like trying something on to confirm it fits. And also, in case you missed something when you were at the store, if there's any holes or any repairs that need to be made. So I'm going to be showing you the things that I picked up, what stuff fits well, what stuff doesn't fit well and why, and which items I plan on keeping and adding to my own wardrobe. So come join me. Now here are some additional tips that I have when you're trying things on, whether it's at a store or in the comfort of your own home. Make sure that you're trying things on with the undergarments you would typically wear with that item. It's definitely going to make a big difference in how you would wear it on a day-to-day basis, and in the event that it's a more fitted item, having more fitted undergarments is going to make you feel more comfortable and less like you're looking at the lines and that's it. So you can see the whole outfit instead of just the one thing wrong with it potentially. I also recommend trying things on in outfits when possible. The benefit of trying things on in the comfort of your home is you get to pull pieces you already own that you know you like and fit you well to try on with your pieces. But if you're at a store, try to kit outfits together in the dressing room as well so you can see how a full look might feel versus just trying one item at a time. It's fine, but I think it's more efficient to do a whole outfit when you can. All right, I guess we're gonna get started, and I'm going to go from this side to that side and try tops first, and then I'll try bottoms on separately. I'm going to use pieces I already have to pair with these and make sure that they fit how I would typically wear each item, and that way I can make a better decision of if I like it, if I think I'll wear it, and if it fits right. Let's go. So this top is an extra small. It's a little big on me though. I can even tell from the straps that they are very loose on my shoulders. The V of this is very deep, and that's something that I'm always very conscious of personally. I tend to either wear something that has more of a raised neckline, or I will wear something underneath if I feel like it is too low. Something that I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable leaning over in, which is not good if you plan on moving around like a normal human being and not standing very still for the rest of your day. I would wear this tucked into a pair of dress pants, for example, like the ones I'm wearing right now, if I want to dress it up a little bit, but this is the type of material, it's a t-shirt material, cotton, that you could easily wear with a pair of jeans, very comfortable. While I might not wear this on a day-to-day basis as is, this is actually a great costume piece for a particular cosplay that I'm looking to create anyways, so this is definitely something I'm going to keep because I'll be layering it with other things and will feel comfortable wearing it that way. There's also nothing saying I can't wear a camisole underneath. I just don't typically think of wearing camisoles underneath sleeveless shirts. I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose if you're wearing a sleeveless shirt to add another layer underneath, typically, unless your intention is to layer it for another purpose, in which case that's perfectly fine. I did tuck it in. It is rather long, and that's something to keep in mind too. If you were tucking a shirt into a pair of pants, where the line is from the shirt might show through the pants depending on the material, how thin these dress pants are, for example. You can kind of see where it's bunching the shirt tucked in here because there is also a bit of extra material to this shirt, which I can show you. So when it's untucked, this is how it looks. I'm not particularly a fan of this in the front of material for myself. I think for some people it adds more room. I like ruching on the side rather than in the front. I think it's more flattering, and I find this just kind of like gets caught in the laundry and makes a mess. It also has a high-low, so it is longer in the back than it is in the front. So that's something to be mindful of when you're styling as well. This can always be tucked into the front, or you can always wrap it like this, for example, and then tuck it into something if you want to kind of keep those lines going with the way this is here, but have this hang over the back, and that makes it a lot more casual, in my opinion. It's a bit big for me. I still have some uses for it, and I know for a particular cosplay that I'm creating, this will be great, so it's a keep for me. Something else to be mindful of, especially if you are shopping at a thrift store or even consignment stores on occasion, if you're looking at the size on a tag of something, it may not actually match up to the actual size when it fits. A lot of times people who are donating their items haven't laundered it correctly, or there are some things that just over time, it's going to change the shape due to washing, drying, and wear and tear. So this shirt, for example, is technically a medium. And as you saw with the previous shirt I was wearing, which was an extra small and seemed too big, this somehow seems like it fits better than the extra small, which is ironic. The reason why I think this fits better is it is intended to be a tight fit shirt. On me, because it's a larger size and I'm smaller than the size that I would wear with this, it is slightly fitted, but not really. It's meant to be looser for my frame if I'm going up in sizes. So what I like about this is it does have that loose fit. I like that it is a slightly longer tee, again, very casual, but with a scoop neck, and I think tucking it into a pair of dress pants, it creates a flowy top without it being too flowy, and because it's not as fitted as a t-shirt would be, with it being the size above, 2 sizes above what I would normally wear, I feel like it works really well for this kind of professional dynamic, and there are a lot of ways I can dress this up. Really my goal with a top like this was I wanted more layering pieces for underneath items like button-down shirts or sweaters during cold weather, and something that had a little bit of a longer sleeve so that when I'm layering, more of my arm is covered without it being the entire thing. If I'm wearing a sweater or a long sleeve or even a 3/4, I still want that to not get bunched with the shirt underneath. So this is the purpose of why I was looking for a shirt like this. I think that it fits that purpose well, and I actually really like the color. It being a darker blue, closer to a navy, it is more of a neutral for me, and that's great, so I can pair it with really any color that I want, and it's gonna look fantastic. And I think it works well with these dress pants as well. So this is another win, even though I typically wouldn't look at this shirt just based on the size. When you're at a thrift store, it's good to have an idea of sizes above and below yours, and trying things on is really gonna be key here. So here's an interesting one. I don't typically go for this color. I typically don't go for this cut-up shirt either. But what immediately drew me to it is closer to an earth tone. And the style of it is very fitting for Renaissance Fair season. And I love being able to put different outfits together for Ren Fair season, for the entire fall season that I participate in that, or again, costume pieces. So while I wouldn't normally wear this day to day, it has a very specific purpose for my closet and for a reason I would use it. It's a little bit big, this one is a small, and it's actually intended to be a crop. And on me, it doesn't fit great as a crop. So I would be tucking it into a skirt the way that I have now, probably with a belt, or I'd be wearing a vest or some sort of corset over it to make it feel more Ren Fair friendly and also to fit my body better. You can even see here, these sleeves should be a little bit higher, and the way that the elastic is, it should be tighter on me. But it's not, because it is definitely a size bigger than what I should be wearing. Even with the way that the crop is tucked into my skirt, it's barely tucked in because of where it is supposed to lie, and I'm very long-waisted, so crops look even shorter on me. You can see when I have it untucked, the elastic here is a little stretched out as well, so that's something to keep in mind too. If you're looking at things that have elastic in them from a consignment or a thrift store, make sure that the elastic fits you comfortably and it's not going to be falling off. That's probably going to be the biggest concern that you have when you are shopping from a consignment or thrift store, is if something has elastic, it might be stretched out. So make sure that you are checking that quality when you are purchasing or trying things on, so that it fits where it's supposed to and how it's supposed to for your body. Again, I don't love where this hits me as a crop, and because it is not as fitted as if it were, more my size, I might not mind it as much. Because it's a little bit big, it just kind of draped over me, but not in a nice way. So I would definitely be tucking this in or layering something over it, but it's a great piece for Ren Fair season, so we're keeping it. I love a good merino wool sweater, and you'll find a lot of sweaters when you go to the thrift store or consignment store. One thing to keep in mind, however, especially when it comes to wool, a lot of times the size doesn't even matter because people shrink it by accident. So this is a small, and I'm actually very impressed because it fits pretty well. The one downside though, there's already some holes in it. So keeping that in mind, especially for things like wool, which can either rip or fade or tear kind of easily, know when you're trying things on to look around the seams for any holes or areas where it might make sense that you might get a hole from just casual wear. Things like where your belt is going to be, or where there might be buttons on your jeans, or if it's going to be in an area close to the seam that's going to get rubbed or pulled on often. especially because wool, like things can stick to it, like it's even sticking to itself a little bit, but I move my arms like this. So keep in mind that it might have some wear and tear. And if you're not willing to mend it, then it doesn't make sense for it to be in your closet because you're probably not going to wear it with holes in it unless you're intending for it to look like it has holes in it for a style purpose. But other than that, why are you buying something that it feels like it needs to be mended if you're not going to spend your time actually fixing it? I am actually interested in learning how to mend sweaters, so this might be my practice sweater to try out and see how well I do, especially because this is on the inside where you won't see it too often unless I point it out. I'll have a better chance of testing my skills out on this particular sweater than if it were on something that I really loved and didn't know how to mend. I wouldn't want that to be my first trial and error. So this sweater is actually going to be great to try it out, and if it fixes it and you can't tell, all the better, because I really like the color and I like how it fits as well. And if it doesn't, I'm not totally heartbroken because I got it from a thrift store and it didn't cost me a lot of money and it was good practice. So this one is a keep, and hopefully we can actually mend it so we can wear it. This was a surprise even for me. I don't typically go for flannel or plaid items, just personally has never been a preference for me. But when I picked this up, it was so soft and so comfortable feeling. I really wanted to bring it home and try it out for myself. And I'm glad I did because it's very comfortable. Now, keep in mind, sizing. This is a little bit big. It's a medium, and I knew it was going to be big. And even where the line hits over on my shoulder here, it's a little beyond where I normally want it to fit if I wanted this to be a fitted shirt. But as I would rather wear this in the winter as a layering piece and be able to put shirts underneath it comfortably, having it be more oversized actually makes sense. Or if I just prefer to wear it as more of a slouchy top. Now, when it comes to oversized tops, a great way that you can piece this so it doesn't feel like it's taking over your body is tucking it into something that's either high-waisted or a more fitted pant or skirt on the bottom. So if I were to take this, and even if I just tucked it into the front like this, that's already creating a little bit more shape for the rest of my body. And I could tuck it all the way around if I wanted, or wear it with that pair of high-waisted dress pants that I had at the beginning and create a very interesting dynamic of casual, but also classy. We love to confuse people with our fashion, right? Something else to keep in mind when you are getting things from a thrift store, make sure to check the buttons if you are getting a button-down or button-up shirt. You want to make sure that all the buttons are actually on there and that they button where they're supposed to. I've purchased things before where I thought, hey, it has all the buttons, it's fine. But make sure they actually button through the buttonhole, because what I experienced was one of the buttonholes was entirely ripped, and I didn't know until I'd already brought it home and went to button everything myself. I saw all the buttons on one side but didn't check the buttonhole. So make sure that the buttons are there and that the buttonholes are also intact. Otherwise, you might need to do some mending to make sure that you can wear it comfortably and not have any accidental exposures or J-Lo moments. I absolutely love the color of this blazer, and I love the casual material of it and that there's stretch to it. However, it's a small and it's definitely a bit big for me. You can tell because the cuffs are almost covering my hands. However, the reason why I still plan on keeping this is I like wearing blazers with the sleeves rolled up. It gives it a more casual look. You can pair it with jeans and it still looks professional and classy, but it makes it more interesting and more comfortable for me. So I plan on wearing it with the sleeves rolled up anyways, and since that's really the main reason why this looks oversized on my body, it's an easy fix. And I think it makes a huge difference in how the entire thing looks on me, especially because I'm petite in frame. Having something that shows a little bit more of my arm or even my leg lengthens my body. So I would wear this with the sleeves cuffed like this. Something to keep in mind, especially when you're looking at things like blazers or outerwear, check for threads that might be coming off on different areas, because there might be some pulls and things that you will need to fix. Otherwise, when you get home with it, it might start unraveling pretty quickly. So keep an eye out for those things around the seams. Again, for really any top that you're looking at, check the seams to make sure there's no pulls. And if there are, know that you might need to do a little bit of mending to make sure that it fits well for your body and that it's not going to fall apart on you the first time that you decide to wear it or wash it for that matter. Ta-da!